lesson today is about the importance of sunlight. Sun is the main source of energy. It is the most important source of energy. All living organisms need the sun for their life. Plants need the sun to make their food and grow. Also, some living organisms depend on the plant, like humans and animals. So, the living organisms depend on the plant, which depends on the sun. Okay, now we know that the plant is living organism, so it needs food to grow and get energy. How does the plant take their food? We take our food by cooking it. Our mother go to the kitchen and cook the food, and then when we eat it. So how does the plant make their food? Does it cook it? No. The plant make their food by process is called photosynthesis process. Again, the plant make their food by photosynthesis process. How does the photosynthesis process work, or what is the photosynthesis process? The photosynthesis process takes place in the green part of the plant. It is the place that the photosynthesis happen. So the leaves of the plant, it is the place that photosynthesis happen. Leaves contain chloroplast that we took it in the plant cell that gives the plant its green color. So again, photosynthesis happened in the leaf, especially in the chloroplast. So what is the photosynthesis process? It is biological process in which the plant can make their food. So the plant make their food by photosynthesis process. How does this photosynthesis happen? Okay, this is the plant. The plant needs sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and mineral salt to grow. Okay. The plant absorbs the sunlight by chloroplast exist in their leaves. So the plant takes the sunlight by leaves. Then the plant takes the carbon dioxide from the air, and the plant take or absorb water and mineral salt from the soil by roots. So the plant needs sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water, mineral salt to make their food. So all these things are mixed together to produce the food for the plant and the oxygen for the living organism. The plant food is sugar and starch that help the plant to grow. Oxygen helps the living organism for respiration. Again, what is the steps of photosynthesis process? The plant take sunlight by chloroplast and take carbon dioxide, take water and mineral salt, then make its food, that is sugar or starch, and release oxygen for respiration of living organism. Absorb sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water salt. Then it make their food, sugar and starch, and release oxygen. Okay, this is the green leaf. The green leaf takes sunlight and change it into sugar and starch. So it take the light from the sun, it change it to food. So we can say that in photosynthesis process, the light energy that comes from the sun changes into chemical energy that exists in the sugar and starch. So light energy is the sunlight. Chemical energy is the sugar and starch. Again, in green plant, during photosynthesis process, the light energy changes into chemical energy. Okay, how does we know that the green plant make their food? Or how does we know that the leaf of the plant contain starch? We make simple tests or simple experiments. We put iodine solution on the leaf of the plant. Again, we put iodine solution on the leaf of the plant. Iodine solution, it changes starch into blue. Again, iodine solution, it changes the starch into blue. We here have a bread that contains starch, and the potato also contain starch. So we bring the leaf of the plant and put on it iodine solution. If the leaf changes its color to blue, so this leaf contain its starch, and this plant make its food. So what is the difference between photosynthesis process and respiration process? Photosynthesis made by plant and the respiration process made by other living organism like animal or human. The photosynthesis process is happened in the plant where the plant use or take carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So the plant take carbon dioxide and release oxygen in photosynthesis process. While in respiration process is the opposite. The living organism take oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. So photosynthesis process and respiration process are the opposite to each other. In photosynthesis process, plant take carbon dioxide and produce oxygen, while in respiration, the living organism take oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. Now we will make small experiment that show the importance of sunlight. Let's bring two green plants. One uncovered and one covered by paper sack, and leave the two plants for 2 days or more in the sunlight. What will happen? Okay, after 2 days, we will find that the leaves of the covered plant become weak and yellow because the sunlight can't reach to it, while the leaf of the uncovered plant are green and strong. So sunlight is very important or very necessary for making the photosynthesis process. Without the sunlight, the leaves of the plant become yellow and weak. Now we will talk about the types of living organisms according to their way of feeding. Before we talk about the type of living organism, we must ask ourselves a question. Are all living organisms eat by the same way? So, are we like a human eats like the plant or feed like the plant? Of course not. We are different in the way of feeding. Each living organism get their food by specific way. So the types of living organism according to their way of feeding, 3 types. Number 1, producer. Again, producer. Number 2, consumers. Number 2, consumers. 3, decomposers. So the types of living organism are producer, consumer, decomposers. Now we will talk about each type. First one is producer or autotrophic. Again, producer or autotrophic. What are the producer living organisms? Producers are all living organisms that can make their own food by photosynthesis. So again, producers are the living organisms that make their own food by photosynthesis. Like what? Which living organism we talk that make their food by photosynthesis? Exactly, the plant. The plant or the green plant can make their food by photosynthesis. So the plants are called producer. What else? Also green algae. Green algae make their food by photosynthesis. So they are called producer. And some type of bacteria. Also, we call them producer because they make their food by photosynthesis. So here I give reason. If a question comes for you and say, give reason. Green plant are producers, or green algae or bacteria are producer. So the answer will be because producer can make their own food by photosynthesis. Consumers. Consumers are living organisms that depend on any plant or animal to get their own food. Consumers is like us. We can't get our food from our body. We can't make our food like the plant. The plant make its food, but we can't make our own food. So we get our food from the plant and animals. Consumers are divided in two types. Consumers that depend on the producer, or consumers that eat plant, and the consumers that feed on other consumer. Consumer eat animals or eat meats. What are the consumers that feed on plant? Cow eats plant, sheep, chicken, and human. All these consumers depend on the plant or depend on producer because the plant is producer. What about the consumer that feed on other consumer or feed on animal? Like lion. Lion feed on deer or feed on cow. Like eagle or hawk. Hawk feed on animals. Snake also feed on rats, so it feed on animals. Human also feed on animals. So human can feed on producer or feed on animal because we can eat meat or can eat plant. Number 3, decomposers. What are the decomposers? Decomposers are living organisms that get their food by decomposing organic wastes. Again, decomposers are living organisms that get their food by decomposing organic waste. What is the meaning of decomposing? Decomposing, that breaking down the thing. That means decomposer breaking down the organic waste into small pieces, then feed on it. So what is the organic waste? Organic waste is like a dead body, people which died, plant remains, and decayed food. Decayed food, that's the food or the bad food. So again, decomposers get their food by decomposing dead body, plant remain, decayed food. Decomposer break down the dead body or plant remain into small pieces. Then it feed on it. Some example of decomposer, some type of bacteria, like yogurt bacteria. Yogurt contain useful bacteria, good bacteria. This type of bacteria is decomposer, like this. So, yogurt bacteria are considered decomposer. What else? Bread mold fungus. Bread mold fungus is a fungus that grow on bread when we leave it outside in the air. So bread mold fungus and yogurt bacteria are considered decomposers. So here is the question. Why the decomposer can't make their own food like the plant? Plant can make their own food. Why decomposers can't make their own food? Because decomposer doesn't have chloroplast. The body of decomposer don't have chloroplast, so they can't make their own food. They need to depend or decompose the dead body to get their own food. Okay, what is the importance of decomposer? The decomposer have a great economical importance. It's very important. Number 1, we know that the decomposer decompose or break down the dead body. So the first importance of decomposer, it gets rid of dead body. It remove the dead body. Number 2, it increase the soil fertility. What is the meaning of increase the soil fertility? It makes the soil good for the plant, makes the soil strong. They are used in a lot of industry, like yogurt industry.